Welcome along, everyone. What was it like, that experience, jumping into your first race?
It's been my life ever since I can remember.
Look, it really was unbelievable.
I think it's awesome.
Just go out there and give it your all every time. And
when you're young and you're getting the old man super stock and you wreck it, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Craig Booker with the big smile. He is the voice that's behind what you get to hear every Sunday night.
Give it the hoot, Nanny. Look at that field. Doesn't it look fantastic?
Hey everyone, welcome along to In the Cockpit with Kinser, but my good mate Booker joined us. We've turned it around during the off-season of Speedway and Motorsports, and we brought back what we call the favourite Wednesday night show, Shed Night. Hey Books, mate, how you going?
Oh, I'm doing good, mate. It's been a great day here in the Hawke's Bay, mate. Bloody nice sunny weather again for a change. Oh, should I say we've had that a lot, really. A few clouds, but we're all good, mate, in the Hawke's Bay. I see...
Sky team, mate. You're Sky team.
I tell you, I did see, though, that the Miani Club are asking for volunteers for this season. So if you're out there and you want to be involved and help the club produce a great season of Speedway, get a hold of Miani Club and join amongst it, mate. Hey, you know, like there's probably a lot of clubs out there, Kins, at the moment that are asking for help. If you think you sit on your bum or you sit here and you make comments about what you think clubs should do and blah, 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 well, now's your chance, I suppose, to go and help and put those efforts and voices forward, eh?
Exactly. You know, we get through September, which is only next weekend. And just a reminder to those out there, next Sunday is Father's Day, so as it always is. A month from tomorrow, daylight savings will start. That even means clocks go back and you get an extra daylight. But that also means we get Speedway season coming up mid-October for most of the clubs. Like you said, Booker, a lot of the calendars have been released all over social media on their websites. It's good to see tracks up and down the countryside doing a bit of TLC, bit of work on the tracks, to the entrance around the tracks as well. And good to see some of those volunteers getting out there and doing their little bit, so we get to have an exciting season. Weatherman tells me the season's going to look pretty good, not going to be affected like we had during the current season with all that wet weather. I see Jayden's put in the chat here a little meow at the moment. So Jayden Ward will be joining us. He's not too far away. Just want to say good evening to everyone who's jumped on board. We'll just quickly go through Tarns, who's always watching, Tarns and Daniel, Richard and Trudy. Also Dave Thomas, Cody's on board, Paul Mason, Brian's jumped in there. What's up, Brian? Ams. Good to catch up with you, bro, and see that lovely photo of you and your family. Paul and Susan, Paul Mason there, Corey, Brian, Pete Wilson's on board watching us, mate. Evening, gents. Carl Carpendale, looking like a new car coming out the season. We're all good. DK, Sean Kingy, Madu Goodley. Yeah, it is the 1NZ. Yeah, 1NZ here in the campus sitting here with me. Zippy's on board.
1NZ.
Tyson. Tyson, it's one of the Goodley boys' birthday today, I think. And Ams and Luke, Mr. 1NZ Seconds. Oh, mate, you're my friend, Luke. Awesome.
I tell you what, that bloody Sean Kingy better be coming to a Miani track this season or somewhere where the track where I'm at, DK, bro, because I got your 10-year anniversary Kokpit shirt still here waiting for you to pick up. So I hope we see you soon, my brother. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, just for those two, in a couple of weeks' time, us at Kokpit Online Racing, our community, we're going to be catching up together and having a prize giving, kind of our annual year event as well. So some of that will be live streamed, not as we get into the evening, because that would not be family friendly, that kind of show.
Not those parts.
Not those parts, but yeah. So that's going to be on the 9th of September. You can look forward to that on a Saturday. We'll do some live coverage from our little Kokpit headquarters, aka Mentor's Place. So yeah, looking forward to catching up with must be close to about 20 of the Kokpit boys and just enjoying ourselves and celebrating what we've achieved in the past year.
And those real drivers are coming too, Ken. Some of those real drivers are turning up as well, coming for the prize giving. I suppose or Todd needs to turn up because he won the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, listen, I'd just also like to take a moment to thank, we put those auctions up last week, the last 3 auctions to help Asher, who left today for the UK to race. To those that bid and won their bids, thank you so much for your support. And thanks again to all the support we had with the event we did a few Saturdays back at Speedway Garage. So thank you to all those people that bid and showed their support. Muchly appreciated. Help that young man get across and race in the UK. So that was just another big thanks, Kins, for that. So I've organised all that this week and got those prizes out and off the way and underway to all those people. So yeah, it was another successful auction, I suppose you might as well say. But we do have the other one coming up in
November
at Huntley Speedway. So if anyone out there has got stuff they want to donate for this next auction, we're thinking probably it's going to be for some form of kids charity, something to help the kids out, because we always want our kids to have the best, you know. So that might be our target. This auction will be for that charity. So if you've got things out there, so you get hold of us. If you've got something you want to add to the auction to be donated, just give us a yell, and we appreciate anything to help a great cause. And of course, that Friday night at Huntley Speedway, mate, before that teams meeting, I mean, let's hope maybe the Christchurch boys might come up for that meeting. If so, I'm sure they'll join us on a Friday night, Kins, and a few quiet ales and a bit of an auction, eh?
Well, it's kind of a build-up for what's going to be a busy December, let alone January, and then roll into the big event, Palmy Teams. So, yeah, people talk about getting teams to do a bit of a teams race and teams event, just get themselves prepped, because a lot of times we've spoken to drivers as the build-up to, especially Palmy, they've gone and they're underdone. But then again, they've turned on 2 days of an awesome show. And one of these young guys that's going to join us, I'll tell you what, true showman on the track. Obviously, a lot going on in the Speedway world. You see all new cars popping up, cars being sold left, right, and centre. New kids getting into the mini stock range, some switching from class to class. This just seems to be so much hype. You move away from the Speedway side of things. Hayden Patton done well, the first Kiwi out of a European thing to do well in the rally. The hype around Van Gisbergen, pretty well said on his social media that he's going to NASCAR, and looking like a few drivers are changing a few seats in the V8 supercar ranks. Topor, looking forward to hosting next year the New Zealand leg of the V8 supercar. So that's big news coming through. Economically, that's going to be worth millions for that area around Rotorua and all those other surrounding areas, because that place won't be able to accommodate all the thousands that'll come out to that. So that's great to see. That's going to be up and going for 2024. And there's just so much happening out there in the motorsport world. And we see a few of our Speedway drivers traveling around the state, following the outlaws and everything like that. And yeah, everyone's having fun, you know, and that's what they need to be doing, because the season is just not that far away upon us. And these guys will be out there doing what they do to entertain the fans. They turn up to your local tracks. Talking of local tracks, something that Booker and I will be doing in the next few weeks to keep you up to date with what's happening at your local tracks. So hang around for that. 17th, 18th of November, Huntley International Speedway is when their Polar Cranes auction's going to be on the 17th Friday. The 18th is going to be the racing. So there's just a couple of those dates if you want to book in somewhere and come along and be part of our show there. So looking forward to it, bro. Looking forward to it. Heaps going on.
Don't forget, also coming up very soon is the return of the Daybreaker Rally outside of Palmy there. So that's just about ready to start too. So there's so much good motorsport happening in this country as we build into our new season, Kins. Of Speedway, you know, so it's pretty exciting stuff. And Murray's put a good comment there. Richie Stanaway's back as well. Yeah, he gets a full-time drive. So just that's another point to make, is that Grove Racing and the V8 Supercars next season is all Kiwi drivers.
Yeah.
How cool is that, bro? That's just awesome.
They know where it's at. You know, they want to get onto a winning formula. When you take a look at the success of SVG in that era, then you had Scotty Mack as well. And then, of course, you got Shane, who went over to the NASCAR and won that thing around Chicago. And Scotty Dixon, of course, in his Indy cars, I think he got spun out one part. He came back and won the recent race. And old McLaughlin's going well. So, and then Hayden Patton, what he's done. You got Emma Gilmore out there doing the thing. She's just kicking butt too. And really, Kiwis are doing it for our country and putting us on the world map when it comes to sitting behind the wheel, just like I am. 1NZ online. You know, that's me.
Setting the standard right here. Kinser, the old Grey Ghost.
It's taken me like 100 years, and this young fella that joined us knows, because he used to hook me up with his setups. I've still got the old Speedo NZ setups. Still got those bloody things. We better bring him in, eh?
Yeah, I think we'll bring him in. We won't hold him. People are waiting to talk, see what Jayden has to say. So we'll bring in young Jayden. Here we go. Hey, mate.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah, good. How are you? All good?
Yeah, good, mate. Prep for a good night with you guys.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of fun. And I was actually saying the truth, bro. I found your Speedo NZ setups back in the days when we used to kick it back online, mate.
Oh, I used to spend hours on those, brother.
They were good, bro, because we did teams racing together and everything. I tell you what, they bloody worked a treat and they still go good today. So, yeah, everyone's putting up the picture all of a sudden now, Jayden, putting all these little images in the comments in the chat. Got little goats covered up. Goats. So, mate, you got a massive fanfare up and down the country, eh? Did you realize that?
Yeah, we've got a fair few followers. I suppose I've been doing it for a few years now, but yeah, it's always good to have them on board.
Yeah. I know my mate here, Booker, knows your background, mate, and his connection with your dad and that. So it was just obvious that you were going to continue on the trend and jump behind a racing wheel, isn't it? It's in the blood.
Yeah, I didn't really have an option. I was born into Speedway and got dragged along every single weekend. But obviously very thankful that I did it. It's an awesome life. Meet a lot of great people and long life friends, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's a big part of it, mate, with the Speedway.
Yeah.
You meet people that are friends forever, you know? Like, it's just, and not just at your own track, but around the country, isn't it?
Oh, if you ever need a place to stay anywhere around the country, you know, someone in the Speedway family's got your back, no matter where you go.
Yeah,
mate, I totally agree with you 100%. I went through a bit of an issue just prior to the big teams in Palmerston, and we put it out there through the show and online. And I tell you what, you're 100% correct, because that Speedway community came to my front to help me, my wife and family. And before you know it, I had roof over my head. So you are right. It's more than just what we're seeing, what you entertain on the track and what you do on the track. It is a massive family. Look, I better get this in there. You're looking good, Wardy. Have a guess who that's coming from.
Must be Harley Rob.
Harley Rob, bro.
Hey, so let's start at the beginning for you, Jayden. So what was the first thing you raced, mate?
In Speedway or anything in general?
Well, did you race something before Speedway, did you? How did you start your sort of petrol side of things?
Oh, I raced my PlayStation controller for years, mate. That's where it started.
Was that Gran Turismo?
Yeah, mate. Gran Turismo, Driven to Destruction, all those derby games. Every weekend, you know, me and my neighbours used to run down to the Daytona indoor karts and just smash laps out. It only used to be $5 a turn back in those days, so used to get the laps in. And then, first actual Speedway car was a mini stock. I started late. I would have been 14 years old when I got into mini stocks. Didn't want to start when I was 12 because I was actually scared to do it. I was a bit of a pansy, but managed to get there in the end and haven't looked back.
Yeah. Just going back to PlayStation after that, I know you did some online sim community racing as well. R Factor, you had a wheel and got into that, and you were bloody good at that too, mate. You know, honestly, you were real good at that. Yeah,
it was awesome. You could press escape, you know, when you're about to get wound off and you don't feel the hits. So it was bloody good. But man, I spent hours on that. My brother was racing at the time, same with Dad, and they were always out in the shed, and I was the lazy one inside playing the games. But hey, I was studying the game and how cars react, and I believe that definitely helps. You know, in today's racing, you ask the likes of Gavin Tunifar and Shiv Tunifar and those lot that have raced online and carried on to the real life stuff, and we all say the same thing, you know, your reaction times and simulation helps.
Yeah, because the Levines have told us that. And I remember Gav Tunifar, the Green Hornet online, and Chev 75p from memory back in the days. That's how far we go back. But you are right, mate. It seems to been the roll-on effect that a lot of drivers who have spoken to credit the online sim racing. And you would have seen our recent series that just wrapped up thanks to Keegan Levine and Capital RCs. We had real-life drivers, and actually taking out the whole series was a real-life driver, Todd Hemingway. So, and the feedback we received from that has just been overwhelming, which is a credit to the creator, Steve Emmett, Dirt NZ. You know, the feedback has just been outstanding. So plenty more to come of that, actually, everyone, while we're talking about sim, because there's going to be a team series coming up.
Yeah, this Sunday night we'll start with our first teams night. We've got all the teams made, and the real drivers are the captains of the teams, and we've mixed and matched everybody. So you can tune in for that from probably around past 8 on Sunday night, depending on how enthusiastic I get to firing up the computer. But yeah, that's that. So
Yeah.
I'm just
You
thinking
would
back,
have been
Jayden, when you won your 1NZ in the stock car at Palmy there that night. How special was that for you, knowing that you'd achieved something that your dad had achieved as well? Because he looked pretty freaking happy to me, mate, when he saw you get that 1NZ. How what was it for you, mate? What was it going back that far to that?
That was very special, actually. Man, there was a lot of pressure on me, I felt, going into that weekend, being that the last time that title was held at Palmy, Dad had won it, and we were having a lot of success up to that point. In our general stock car racing at Palmy, we were constantly up the front and getting good results. So there was a little bit of pressure on the shoulders there, and for us to pull it off, become the first father and son to win the New Zealand Stock Car Champs, and the first father and son to win it at Palmy consecutively, it was amazing, and it was awesome for my dad. He cried a little bit because it meant so much to him, and it meant so much to us as a family because stock cars has been in our life, or it's a part of our life since when I was born.
That's awesome. Yeah. I saw the emotion on Graham actually, and I thought, oh, he'd be pretty stoked with that one. It was because you only just got that car. That car, you only just got it on the track not long before that, didn't you, or something? Wasn't there some?
I raced it the week before at Wanganui and nipped some pistons. So my very first race that season, I stuffed the engine, and my first weekend back with the New Zealand title, and we managed to win it.
Quite the achievement, eh? Oh, it looks like we're losing Kins, are we? Oh, he's back. Oh, no.
Yeah, I've noticed you dropping here and there too and losing your voice off and on. So we'll carry on if you can hear me, Jayden. We'll get things underway. There's technology. It goes when it goes, and the bloody thing works. People are putting there like Sean Kingy, DK. He's talking about stock car heat back in the day as well. Steve Fletcher says, and we'll talk about this as well. Here are our team's champs with the Glen Eagles, and you won that a couple of times. Scott Honeybone, your mate, had to pop in there. Evening Wardy, up the sea. Everyone's going up the sea. Geez, there's just so much. Carl's got a question here for you, mate. How was Queenstown?
Yeah, it was good. We went down there for Keith Gill's 60th on the weekend just been, and did what boys do. Keith was a very happy man.
We'll leave it at that, eh? We'll leave it at that. Is that water, bro, you're drinking? Harley said this. Is that water that you're drinking? This is not the real
sure is, bud.
water. There you go, Harley. Yeah.
Jayden Ward's coming back focused and determined this year. No beersies.
No beesies. Oh, there you go. You heard that news first right here. Woo, breaking news. Booker was talking about your stock car achievement, mate, and to do what you've done in that short span of time, and engine issues, obviously at Wonga's come to Palmy one and you win the bloody thing. Some guys have been trying to do this for years. What is it? It's just something, as a kid, you've grown up alongside with Dad. You've picked up so much through his years of following him and being next to him.
I think a lot of it helps growing up in Palmy in the golden era, I call it, where my dad, who I rate as one of the greatest stock car drivers of all time, Peter Rees as well, Peter Bankston, with the Scotty Myers, the Calvin Grays, with everyone, Barry Bajewski. We've got to watch all these legends week in, week out, and you just pick up their trade. And along with going to Speedway every weekend and doing the online racing, and you study all that as well, I think all of it combined just made a awesome package, really.
Yeah, there was some pretty good drivers back in the day, wasn't there, that were... that's when Palmy really did dominate the whole Speedway era back then, didn't they? So you're right about, you had some great people to learn off when it came to racing. And you're right, your old man, he knew how to drive, man. I remember him saying to me one day, because he didn't start off fast, your dad. He wasn't and he said the thing that changed it for him, and it makes me wonder if he said the same thing to you to make you race how you race. He said he didn't start racing good and better until he started hitting people off the end and going under them, realising that bumper was there to move them out of the way, go through and gone. Did he tell you that as well?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, really, by the time you hit someone out of the way, you've knocked them offline. The time you get past, you're gone. So you don't worry about it. So yeah, definitely, you don't have to go out there and smash them full noise off the end. You just got to do enough to unsettle their car, get the pass, and carry on. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because you've experienced some of that stuff, haven't you? From wanting to smash them off the bloody end because they pushed you off, and you want to get them back and do what you need to do, but you soon realize that it actually causes damage to your own car, and it just buggers your racing up completely. Yeah.
It comes back to bite you too. You hit people too hard, and if it was me, if someone hit me off the end, it pisses me right off. That I'll want to go back and destroy that person. So I'm pretty careful how I do it. I just do it enough to unsettle their car and move on.
Yeah. I tell you what's good about. I tell you what's brilliant about that comment you just said, and I use the word brilliant because he's a young Englishman. That English guys always says brilliant. Everything is brilliant, but was even better the handshake and the camaraderie you shared in the pits. And I'm talking about the World 240s and young Charlie Sauter. You know, he talks highly of you, mate. He got dealt to, and he got you one party, I think it was, and then you know that's what it's about. You take what you take and you give, and that's what the bumper's here for. You know, payback's a bitch in some sense, and that's in that class of sport.
Yeah, he's a good fella. We're actually really good mates now after all that, and we were that night of racing. We were in the club rooms for a wee while there, sinking beersies. And we still talk to each other quite often now. But he was amazed with the New Zealand drivers. He said the way we can all hit each other, and then we all went over and yarned to him afterwards. He said you can't really do that in England. Everyone holds a grudge and gets all sulky, but he reckons all of us here have got it going on good.
Yeah. He said that to us when we had him on the show, didn't he, Kins? That he said you just can't do that in England over there. So it'll be interesting with our we've got four drivers over there this time. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they go with that. But
back to me getting him that night at the 240s, I got a big punt off the end, like we were just talking about. And I was like, that bloody Charlie Sauter. It turns out it wasn't even him. He got punted off into me. Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah. Well, and that's what people don't realize as a spectator when some of the stuff that you don't see till later on, and then of course you react to what you see straight away, and all of a sudden, like you just said, that bloody someone punted him into me, with someone else. But that's what you got to deal with. You deal with a lot, and we are going to talk around the teams racing very soon. But just going back to your 1NZ car, mate, the stock car, and like Booker said, your dad was just over the moon. Is anyone else that you're aware of, or anyone previously achieved father-son achievement, or anything closer, or maybe two siblings, two brothers, or anything like that in the 1NZ stuff?
Pete, Ethan, and Asher have all got 1NZ in the stock car class.
Yeah.
No one else I know of in the stock car class. The closest would be, I suppose, Dale Robinson and Richard Gaskin. Their family.
Yeah.
But other than that, it'll be the super stock guys, the Pins.
Yeah. Now, what I'm trying to work here too, because I know you got a brain for the sport, and I know you got a lot of history in there, because we caught up with a good friend of yours, KJ, James Freeman, and he's just like you. He's like a walking encyclopedia of bloody speedway, that guy. And he says, mate, talk to him, get right into his history, because he knows a lot. And actually, Ethan Rees told us that a few weeks as well. And yeah, you've been around it, like you said right at the start. You grew up with it, with following dad, and look what you've achieved, eh? You've grown up around and watched guys that you looked up to. You've always looked up to your dad, though? Was there anyone else that you've actually looked up to in Speedway?
As a young kid, I used to love Barry Bajewski's Do or Die. The gauntlet he used to do at Team Champs, just around the outside, full noise, coming out with it 9 times out of 10. Brendan Higgins, Calvin Gray, Pat Westbury. In stock cars, I used to love the mongrels like Dale Mooney and Ron Ty, Regan O'Brien, Mike Mack. Yeah. So you pick up the shit stirrer type side too. But then more realistically, when it came to super stock racing, I used to, or still am, a big fan of Scott Joblin. Just before I got into super stock racing, I used to study all his in-car videos because he was so smooth, and you'd watch him start at the back of a field and he'd come through and win it at a World 240s event. And it just amazed me. And when I want to race, when I go to super stocks, I want to be like him. And yeah, he knows it too.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We had a good yarn, Booker and I, with his dad in the plaza down at Palmy a little while back, I think.
Oh,
and
old man
even a
Joblin.
good old man Joblin and Russell. Oh, that's pretty cool. I wonder if how many people actually realize what you just said, who you studied and followed, and yeah, that's really cool. This is what we talk about. Steve Keeley, mate, badass. Bring back Speedo. There we go. These are coming back to the old days. Scott Honeybow, 1NZ at Miani, Jayden? Well, you could do what you got to
give
do,
it a nudge,
mate.
mate.
I
Yeah.
have to. I can't agree with that one. Sorry. No.
He's a bloody horse.
I got to
mate.
stay Miani proud, Although saying that, when you come down, you generally stay with you at Hawke's Bay. You come down to Hawke's Bay when you travel. Do you stay with Oh, I've forgotten his name. Kids, look at that. I've tried to ask a good question and stuffed it up.
Who do you stay with, mate, in Hawke's Bay?
Man, I've stayed with multiple people.
Oh,
As
dear.
of late, would have been Andy McCabe's the last people I've stayed with. We had his old car. We brought the car off him. And he really helped us out with that. They usually stay with the Lindsay family. If you remember Jared Lindsay.
That's the one I was thinking of, Jayden. Lindsay's here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the one I was thinking of.
Good people.
Yeah.
Lindsay's,
Yeah. Well, that track pretty good. Are you feeling slightly confident for Miani, mate? You think?
Yeah, I don't usually have the best of luck at Miani. When the track's good, I love it. When it's a drivey, fast track, it's awesome. When it gets to be like a motocross track, I tend to struggle a bit. That last meeting I was there, was going backwards. I gave up. I put on the trailer and went home. Hopefully it's all good this time round, and we'll have a good nudge at it.
Yeah. Just going through this bloody season, and you're like many other drivers, Jayden. This weather just sent a mad the season. All that rainy weather just buggered it up, and the most cancellations that I can recall in history of Speedway. And then again, you've got to travel down to South Island, just to bloody annoy, just annoyed the hell out of everyone.
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating, but it was a bit nice on the bank balance. We saved a bit of coin here and there. But yeah, it was frustrating, but hopefully that's all behind us now, and we're in for a big, long summer.
I think it's going to be a great season, to be honest. I mean, in the Hawke's Bay here, we had a lot of frost lately, and we haven't had those for years, and that normally bodes well for the sun's going to come out in the summer, But we'll get this out of the way. So I know someone's going to ask it. I was talking to you beforehand. Where you contracting to this season, mate?
Kiki. Nah, we're staying with Christchurch again for another year. Like I was telling you guys earlier, Malcolm got me back into Superstock racing when I gave it up in 2018 after I had my shoulder operation, sold my car and whatnot. Malcolm got us back on board. So my loyalties are with Christchurch for really as long as Malcolm and the Christchurch club need me. Steve Lennon's been awesome to us. Always accommodates for us really well, and we can't ditch Charlie Robb. Otherwise he'll have a big sulk. But the intentions are definitely if we're ever going to go anywhere, we'll be back in Palmy. I ideally want to race with Jack Myers and William Humphreys in the Panthers at one stage. Been mates with them growing up, and it'll just be a bloody wicked team, I think. But we've created an awesome environment with the Eagles, and I can't leave that just yet. It's too good to leave, and we got to defend this title.
Yeah, mate. It's like that word I said to you when we were off air talking before we went live at 7:30. The word loyalty, and I like what you're saying. It's loyalty, and you're stuck strong to that with Malcolm down in the South Island, and then the other part you got to defend the title coming up February. So yeah, you don't get that loyalty things these days. And me and Booker talk strongly around track codes and everything like this. And good on you. That's good news to hear. And one day, you will come back home and represent the P, obviously, and try and get your way into the Panthers. 97, obviously, it's Dad's number. Then I suppose you threw the one on there, your number 971.
Yeah, just chucked it on there because he wasn't giving up the 97 very easy. And then the one, I've actually just liked that 3-digit number since the get-go, and I probably will never throw that away.
Yeah.
That's tough. Ask KJ. He reckons it's the toughest 3-digit number out there.
Josh Dawn, what did you get Keith for his birthday?
I've pretty much answered that before.
Yeah, there you go. You jumped in earlier, you would have heard that.
He got 3 of them.
Okay.
There's a lot of
Mike
people
Mings.
commenting and talking about different things, and so what Kinser's reading that? What does Jayden do in the off season, mate? Do you do anything else besides Speedway? Do you play any sports or anything like that, mate, or you just kick back, relax, family time? What do you do in the off season?
Yeah, I've got a young little daughter. She's only 5 years old. So I tend to I get her every single weekend. That's the deal with me and the ex. So I do a lot with her. We just travel around the country and do fun stuff, or stay around home, take her bowling and parks and whatnot. So yeah, it's just family life really. Make most of it while we can in that Speedway off season. And then I've just started back up with Keith Gill Motorsports. We're building stock cars together and supers. So we're just busy engineering away in his little workshop there and try to produce some good cars.
Awesome, mate. And that's going along real well, trucking along real well for you, Jayden?
Yeah. My car's coming along really well. For another week or two, and we'll be finished up on the chassis and just await the engine from Chad Ace, and we'll start the fit out. And then we've got 4 or 5 other cars on the go as well that need to get out there before, October, Christmas time.
Yeah, mate. This car you just touched on that you're working on, waiting for the Chad Ace engine. This is a new car because your previous car from last season you raced has stayed in Christchurch. So this is a whole new deal you're doing?
Yes, completely brand new car, new engine off Chad, new design chassis. That's why it's taken a little bit longer this time round. Keith and I have changed the goalposts a lot on these new cars. There's a complete new front end that we've never tried before. We believe we're the first trying this new rear end setup. Hasn't been tried before, and that's lots of changes. We've got to try raise the bar to keep up with all these other cars. I've really raised the game the last 2 or 3 years, so we're just giving it a nudge, and hopefully it comes out just as strong as the last car, if not better, which is what we want.
Yeah. So how much of the knowledge that you've grown up as a kid around the speedway scene, following dads and looking at some of those idols you made mention of that you look up to, how much of that knowledge has gone into the input of that with your new car, let alone Keith Gill, what he's designed, or is there other knowledge? How's that all work coming together to, kind of try and test, trial and error type of thing? How's that all work?
We basically base a lot of the stuff off what the Yanks are doing. Particularly with the dirt late models, we're seeing what they do. If anyone does it the best, it's the Yanks. So they do all the testing and they race 3 or 4 times a week. They're getting way more laps in than us. So we try to take on their ideas and input it into our own. I basically more steer the car and tell Keith exactly what I want, what the car's doing, etc. And he's like the mad scientist, I gather you can call him. He can work it all out from all my input I'm putting in and giving to him. So it's a good little team environment sort of we've created that it's coming up with a lot of these ideas as well and how to change it all.
Wicked, mate, wicked. Yeah, there seems to be that American input to a lot of classes. If I use the Super Saloon class as an example, there's a bit of input from the Australian late model, let alone the American side of stuff as well. And that's just the way that the sport's going to evolve and move because, like us too, we're old school and I talk about 90s cars all the bloody time, but you got to adapt with change. And if you want to keep up with the game, you got to do what you got to do and work along with it. And I know with the caliber of driver you are, I know you can pedal the bloody thing as well. Let's talk about that super stock driver, 240s, mate. I remember watching you there at Rotorua, and I don't much really need to ask you this question. I'm guessing Rotorua is most really one of your favorite tracks.
Yeah, definitely. I love Rotorua. Great success there. Someone gave me a little bit of information when I was up there for the 240s just been, that me and Jason Long were possibly tied for the most consecutive qualifications for the 240s.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool to find out information like that. But yeah, I've won a Bay of Plenty stock car champs up there before, and I've had 3 podiums on the 240s. So definitely one of my favorite tracks. And Stan and Sonia run a bloody awesome show, and we love going there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I remember when you came out with your green and white car, the old Superstock back in the day in Palmy, and watching you on some of the live streams and down at Rotorua, bro, you were pedaling like it was just hell on wheels. Literally, you hear the comment like you stole the bloody thing. That thing, bro, when you drive, it's on rails, eh?
Yeah, that thing was a freak of a car. Like
Yeah.
when Kerry Humphreys had it, it was as fast as. I think Chad had it for a little bit there, and he was a weapon. And that's in the hands of Matt Nielsen now, and he's picked up, I think, 2 North Island titles in that same car. Like it's 16 years old and it's still winning stuff. Like it's just a freak of a car.
Yeah, yeah. You put it up there as one of your best cars you ever driven in the Superstock class?
I still rate that as my best car. The last car was very good, but that car just seemed to sing.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to buzz out A-books watching the stream and seeing this young man behind the wheel in that thing and go, look at this dude go from the back.
I must admit, I've always sort of watched Jayden. I've had a bit of a soft spot, I suppose, for Jayden because of how far back I go with his dad. So I've always keenly watched him race and see what he gets up to, because it was his dad and his uncle as well, like he had your Uncle Bruce as well, but race supers, well, they were A grades back then, not supers, but so the pedigree was there. So I've always sort of watched this young fella and sort of thought, oh yeah, he's doing all right. But I'll tell you what impressed me of late is I went back to Wellington for the first time in a very, very, very long time this year. And it was for the that big money ticket race that you took out this year, Jayden. That car that night was on absolute rails, man. That thing, you were far out. It blew my mind. It just, and a funny story about that meeting, Wellington thing is the last time I was at that track, I actually worked on your dad's car and got him out, and he won the second race when I tuned it. And then he blew it up. But yeah. But mate, that car that night at that track, that Wellington track's got a nice bank on it now, eh? Do you enjoy driving that? Because you were hauling, man.
I would actually have to say, besides, Rotorua in general is my favourite track, but Wellington, the last 2 times I've been there, would have to be the top track in the country for race surface and everything like that. It's drivey from the very first race to the last race of the night. Whatever they're doing, other tracks need to take notice because that is bloody wicked.
But it blew me away, that track. I was so impressed with it from it would have been close to 20 years, I suppose. Might be close to 20 years when I was at Wellington last time, and it was nothing like the track it is, like it's But I just see
from what I understand, they've changed the track surface, but whatever they're doing, it is awesome. I love that track.
Oh,
we'll definitely be going back.
Yeah. I see Charlie Swarter's woken up and he's put stop picket on the Poms, you bully.
Stop getting bunted off into me, bro.
How good was it though, Jayden?
If you didn't have the big target on your roof, you would have been sweet.
yeah. Wow, that fin was bloody huge, mate. But how good was it really to have the Poms back at Rotorua, and the Dutch boys, by the way. Then of course you had them teaming up at Palmy. The crowd said it all. Everyone wanted to hear the GB back, the Lions. How wicked was that to have them back in our country finally since COVID?
I think it's awesome, mate. It brings a whole nother dimension to the team's chance. It's not the same without them, especially at the 240s as well. It's not a world feeling, without the Poms there. And it always brings a lot of excitement because we like dishing it to each other in that final, and that's what the crowd want to see. And we like catching up with them too. And hopefully Charlie's back this year, and maybe we can help him get on the bloody podium. I don't know.
Look, here's a statement, Kins, eh? Oh, Kiwi might help a Brit get on the podium. Holy heck, I tell you what, mate, those Brits and even those young Dutch boys that came over, they were on fire, weren't they? I mean, you must have seen some of their races at teams. Did you get a chance to watch them do some of their teams races, Jayden? I mean, what did you think of those Dutch boys?
I generally watch all their races. They give it, they're 100% full noise into it, and it's a lot of respect coming over here, not driving our cars before, and to give them the shit that they do is bloody awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so is that how it works for you, Jayden? Because we're going to touch on that teams event and winning that, and you've been a winner previously with the Glen Eagles. you get into the pits, need to do what you do, then you go up and study and watch all the other teams racing. Is that what Jayden Wood does at Palmy teams?
I'll go up and watch a few races before I own, and definitely watch the ones we're coming up against that same night, just to see what everyone's doing and what their plan of attacks and whatnot are. But other than that, we as a team get down into the pits and we blast our music and just get in the zone. Keep relaxed and focused.
So what do you prefer, mate?
We're
Single racing or teams racing?
Oh, teams every day. I'd way rather win a teams champs than win a New Zealand title. There's something about winning teams champs.
I don't think we've had a driver on yet that hasn't said teams. Aikens.
Straight away teams. Let's go back a few years, because you did it with Christchurch, you know, and we can remember Malcolm climbing up the fence, shaking the fence, and why not? Because finally Christchurch had won the big event. There was about, 3 or 4 years ago, might be even longer, I can't remember now, but I remember when you guys did that, yourself and Nash and everyone, mate, that just took the whole South Island to the next level after that event, and let alone the crowd were just so happy for you to win that, for Christchurch to finally win it. How cool was that to be part of that?
Oh, mate, it was bloody awesome. Me and Asher, from the very start of that season, we were both living down in Christchurch. I was living with Asher, and that's all we talked about every week was teams champs and what we're going to do and what we're building for it that whole year. And growing up as kids, you know, that's the ultimate goal. You want to win teams champs. And for us to talk about it for that many weeks and then go and do it was bloody amazing. And being beside Harley and Lloyd Jennings and Malcolm, you know, to win it for Malcolm as well was bloody cool, because he's tried for all those years, just never managed to quite get on that top step. But man, what a feeling. I think the second time was a lot better though.
Yeah. Well, you picked up the title. Everyone called you the Bash Brothers, yourself and Nasher, and you guys were just, you know, unstoppable, indestructible. If you did try to go past one, you're pretty well stuffed. You put them to the wall. And then, of course, moving through to, of course, this year, and we know what happened at Teams Chance, and that wet weather turned up with the big finale happening, but you had to race in a warm Sunday afternoon. And, mate, all I can say, one word for you is clinical, because what you did during that whole event was just, yeah, unbelievable, but clinical. You just got a teen's brain on there, mate.
Yeah, just got to stay composed, really, and just read the race. That's one thing that Dad used to drum into my head, is just got to read the race. Just keep your eyes and focus on every car that's passing you and where everyone's on the track, and read it like a book, I suppose. But yeah, it's hard to explain how to do it. But the whole team worked exactly how we planned it. We went in with a plan, started each race, and what we said is what we did. Not one of us went away from the game plan, and it all stuck perfect. So being surrounded by a good bunch of guys as well makes all the difference.
Your mate came down from Auckland. We know him as Sidewinder Online back in the online racing days. Scotty Tennant, and now 2NZ. Having him into your team, mate, brings no different to what you are as a class driver when it comes to racing. He's the same thing, brought up as the Tennant name through Dad over the years. You know, he's no different to you really, and he knew what to do. And but you had the brain to go and push him off not only once, you did it twice.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you pick up as well from being on the outside of the fence. I used to watch that all the time. You see cars stuck, and he's like, "Let's go and push him. He'll be all right." So I knew, because in the previous qualifying races, Scotty's car broke down. And I knew he was having issues with the carby or something like that. So I knew I had to push him and he would get going. And yeah, it all worked out for us. It was bloody good. But having Scott Tennant in that team was massive. When Malcolm said we had to find a driver, there was no one else I really thought of. I knew straight away, you know, Scott Tennant's the pick. He's got a brain on him. He's like myself, really. He's grown up with Speedway his whole life, watching his old man and being up there with all those Auckland legends, you know, back in those days. So we know what Scott Tennant's all about, and he studied the game hard out.
Yeah, hard out. You know, I remember that team's race. He raced for the All Stars, and I think he might have even been was it a standard stock or a promo car or something? And he put everything on the line. He was stopping. He was no different to you, actually, mate. To be honest, he just gave it his all, and it's from all those years of growing up around it. And it was pretty cool, all right. Tyler Murdoch trying to push for 971H. That would look good. Well, at the moment,
it nearly happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah. myself and Sauce were going to contract to Waikato in 2017, the year I had the black, green, and white car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So
Yeah.
has the old man asked for a drive in the Super, mate?
He actually drove it a month or so ago. We went down to Christchurch to deliver it to the new owner, and we had a sponsor and crew day where Malcolm and all of his guys took all the cars out to a black track, and we had a good fun day out there. And Dad hopped in, and he hasn't lost any of his skills. He was fast as.
Okay.
I mean, he came out a big smile, was he, Jayden, smiling for hours after that?
Yeah, he was smiling as. Probably keeps giving him the idea of coming back though, but he can't come back. His head's too soft.
He shouldn't have bloody been in it from the start after that street stock roll. Bloody hell. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome that he got to have a driver. Yeah, I shouldn't imagine it would have been like a duck to water when he jumped in that thing.
Yeah, he hadn't lost it. That would have been his first drive in 3 or 4 years, probably.
Jayden, you play in the spins with that background noise boy, Stu Russell.
Yeah, mate, I'm definitely on it. What's the background noise? I can't hear anything.
I don't. Yeah, not Daniel talking about maybe Nelson one day 971 then, mate. You'll be back at 240s come mid-January again, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely a meeting we always want to be at.
Have you thought about how far away the car is and what meeting you'll start the season with? Like, there's a few coming to Miani's opening because it's obviously where the New Zealanders are, and they're inviting a lot of super stocks there for that opening meeting. You thought about that at all, or?
Planning on doing opening night. Haven't decided whether it will be Palmy or Christchurch.
Oh, okay.
Depends how pushed we'll be. Yeah, probably should get down to Christchurch, but I think for a business sense, we want to start selling these cars. I think being up these ways is probably the better idea to race them up here and get some good results. But yeah, undecided.
You talked about your daughter earlier on in the piece, and you spend the weekend with her and you enjoy that type of thing, because we've spoken to drivers, and kids change your life. Say, hey, they really do. Your 5-year-old girl, and how has she been like in your life? You were this young man growing up alongside Dad with the speedway and the blood and everything. But once the little one comes along, it just changes life a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose I definitely race cautious, and it's funny you say that because before a big teams race, you sort of get yourself psyched up and whatnot. And me, myself, I think about my daughter. I'm like, all right, I gotta race. And that's probably why I race smart this year. I was thinking to myself, all right, I got to race smart. I got to race safe for my daughter because I don't want to hurt myself, end up, bad or anything. So, yeah, it definitely goes through your mind and it changes things, that's for sure. Don't try to be as ruthless, just more technical and smart.
Yeah. You're onto it, mate. You're clever, right? And you got a smart head on you. That's obviously on and off the track, and people have commented some good stuff on there. Ask him about Carrie Adam. Ask him about the 19C Stealth Super you drove. Did you drive the Super Saloon or Malcolm's car?
Yeah, I drove that at the club day as well, or the fun day, sorry. Bloody awesome. They put the water truck out on my turn, did like 6 laps. So it took me majority of the race to get a nice surface in there, but I loved it. Definitely would love to give it a crack at Christchurch on a club night and to see how I fare against, the top drivers and whatnot. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Is that your future? Because you take a look at what Malcolm's done in the super stock and back of the days he used to race to the Super Saloon. There's just so many drivers. Bingston's one is an example.
Jason Long.
Jason Long, Stanaway. The list just goes on. Is that where Jayden Wood sees himself in the latter end of his super stock career, jumping into a Super Saloon maybe one day?
Yeah, maybe one day. If I was ever to get out of super stocks, it would be Super Saloons. I think that is the next, the best step. But for the foreseeable future, it's definitely the super stocks. I'm not thinking about anything else.
Craig Chatfield, wait till the kids kick your ass out of the car. This boy's taking on the supers. So yeah. Do you think
Cody,
do you take the young daughter to the speedway, mate? Does she enjoy it, or are you sort of not letting her be a part of that so much as what you were?
I let her pick and choose her moments. If she wants to come, she can come. She's not really hard out into it yet. I think she's too young to really understand it. She'd rather go there and throw dirt in the pits and watch the racing. But to be fair, it's probably not something I want her to get into.
Yeah.
With the racing, to let that be my thing. But we'll see what happens.
I'll remember you saying this right on this date and this time when you say this, mate. When they get to their age, you know. I don't know.
Too many speedway boys out there. I know what they're like.
Yeah, it changes when you got a daughter, bro.
Steve Fletcher for you, Jayden. Would you go back to the UK and race in the World Finals if you could?
Yeah, definitely. That's something I really want to go back and do. Hopefully in a bit better of a car this time around. But yeah, definitely. That's something I want to tick off the list again. The first time was awesome and we learnt a lot. I'd like to go back with what I know now.
Cool. Where did That's Right come from Daniel Peachel? Where did That's Right come from?
Oh, came from that Carl Vanderweel fella that asked the question earlier. Just it's off a cartoon or something, and it just got so annoying in our group of friends that it stuck. And that's how that'll come about.
Yeah, Craig Chapwell. Tell me about it, eh? When the kids want to jump in the car, he knows. Yeah, that's just the way. Thing I see, Chatty's actually got the old OG Silver Bullet up on the market there on social media, jumping around there.
It must be getting soft, I think.
He's going to reply to that now.
You watch Chatty come back with a comment now.
Troy Curry, how many ferries you going to miss this season?
Hopefully none, Troy. We'll get someone to manage me a bit better this year and read the clock right, because it wasn't 20:45, I think they read it as. Say if Keith Gill read the clock wrong, it's 24 o'clock.
Yeah. And no speeding tickets this year, eh, mate? Leave that for the track.
Yeah. Haven't had a speeding ticket in a wee while.
I can see where you get it from, but if your old man passed me with stock car and trailer one year, and I was standing still and I wasn't going slow, and I was no trailer.
We're always in a rush to get to these tracks.
Yeah. Is Christchurch going to come to the Huntley teams? That'll be a tough one, Dave Thomas, at this stage, I suppose, because of the current situation with the ferries. Again, a few things are breaking down with a few boats there at the moment, as the headlines or so. Let's just have to wait and see what happens. See how things move on out there. Isaac says, hello, Uncle Jayden.
Hello, Isaac. How are you?
Yeah, good. That's Nathan and the family there. Steve Fletcher, can't wait to see your teams next year, Jayden, even in Christchurch before to catch up. Mate, heaps going on. Look at all these questions coming on through. Marco had some. There you go. Ask Jayden, would he rather race against Kiki or Gisborne?
Would I rather? Oh, they're both two top teams.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather race Kiki, because Pete and Ethan hit bloody hard, and Josh is hard to get round. So probably lean towards Kiki.
Yeah.
I've had
I'll tell you what.
I've had other people say that Ethan is one of the harder hitters. Like Regan O'Brien reckons he's never been hit so hard as he has by Ethan.
Yeah. And saying that, you've got Asher to worry about in the Kings too, but there's only one reason. I'd probably take that option than the other two.
Yeah. And that was a very, very pivotal moment at the recent teams in Palmy. There was this stop Asher, and everyone saw it. Asher's foot right down in front of me and Booker. He had that foot flat down, and it was like vibrating, ready to jump off and take off. But you hadn't tied up. I can't think who the other guy was. Was it Harley? Yeah. But that was the pivotal moment, and because each other's thinking minds, because you talked about it when you won the first Christchurch. If there's someone you need to stop in that Kings team, was him, because you come from the same mentality of your loved teams. You know what to do. You've grown up around it with your dads and so forth. But that was the pivotal moment, and you had no choice really to stop him, eh?
Yeah, it definitely was the aim of the game. We've got to stop Asher. he's just 100%. He's always into it, and if you see him 9 times out of 10, he can sometimes win those races all by himself. So we knew straight away you had to stop him.
Yeah. So you focus on other teams when it comes. You see the draw come out with Palme teams. Do you just get yourself mentally prepared and just do it as a team effort? It's no different. You do the job at hand, do your roles, and just see what happens.
What was that? Sorry.
When you do your teams and you see team straws coming out, doesn't matter who you come up against. You've got your roles, and if you stick to it, the plan should kind of hopefully fall into place, and you come through with the checker flag.
We don't have really set roles. We wait for the draw, and then we'll make a plan for the team we've got to have face up. We tried different things every single race this year. I mean, even last year we had Sauce was a runner non-stop. The year before, then this year he did nothing but block. So we're happy to try change things up, and even next year we might try change it up a little bit more with hopefully Scotty T's back in the team and chuck him in a blocking role, because I know he can block. I've seen him block firsthand, and he's bloody good. So it's good to have a team full of runners and blockers, and that's what we're trying to grow in the team as well, that with more experience doing both roles. We're doing quite a few possibles versus probables teams racings this year in Christchurch, where we're going to switch up roles between the two teams and just get experience doing both.
Yeah. Because you've got an increased number of super stocks down there in Christchurch now. I see a few cars like Steve Lennon's boys jumped into one now, and you see it all over the Facebook. You're going to have some good numbers running out with the C on it.
Yeah, we've got Braden Lennon. He's picked up the old Chad Ace car. I think it was Tom from up in Auckland. We've got James Fine, who's brought Harley Rob's Tri-Rail. And we've got Huggies, and he's converted his stock car to a super stock. So we've got 3 other stock car teams guys now in supers, along with others coming along as well. So I think we're up to about 20-odd super stocks, which will be good.
It's huge. And plus you got a new guy jumped in the car you raced this season as well, eh? You got a new one coming out.
Yeah, so my car sold to a guy in Christchurch, Cam Rain. So he's fizzing at the bit to get out there. We're building a brand new car for Mitch Berry. So there'll be another great car for Christchurch, along with my one and one for Natai as well, which might be later in the season when his one gets out there. He's got a new Higgins he's debuting. So be plenty of new cars down there.
Pete Wilson, I was with Pete last night, newbie. He said, "Sim racing, come back, bro. We need Speedo back, eh?"
Had some good times with newbie.
Yeah. We're talking about it last night, actually, while we're having dinner and having a good old chat. And Bex is going hard too. So, we wish Kaylin, Bex, Mitch, and Asher and Kaylin flew out together today. Everyone's watched the video updates on how things go with Mitch. He's doing a great job with all the videos. And, it's really cool to see this all happening. Daniel Petrie, Jayden is the 28S becoming 28C this season.
Not quite sure. I've heard a few whispers, but can't confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
Just for Nicholas's sake, Jayden, what chassis do you run? Just for his sake.
Keith Gill Motorsport.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. There you go, Nick. What were you going to say, Books?
No, I was reading earlier, the guy that bought your car from last season, when you were talking about your new chassis and how it's going to be this and that and better. He sort of joked, so no, don't say it's better than your car last year. As soon as he just bought your car.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be right, mate.
Hey.
If you want to come and follow me, bro.
You'll clear a path, eh, Jayden? Hey?
There's a wall on these tracks we're racing at though, Cam. So there's no banks to go down, so you should be sweet.
So what did he do? What did he do prior to getting your car then? Now you said that. What was he driving?
He had Gary Ellis's old Kuriga Superstock.
Right. Yeah.
That was his first season, I believe, last season in that. And he's purchased mine for this one.
Wicked. What are you gonna say, Books?
I was gonna say, so who's your most respected rival on the track, mate? Do you think? Who do you class as the
generally you'd usually say everyone, but William Humphreys, I respect a lot on the track. He's gone into bat for me at multiple titles, and I'm forever in debt, really, to help him out. So whenever he's up there for a big title, you'll see me on the pole line, definitely trying to return the favour. That's for sure.
We talked about your track. You love Wellington, obviously, with the way the track's been put together and everything. You love Rotorua, like most superstock drivers that chat. What's your bogey track, mate? That's all we haven't asked. We better ask. What's your bogey track you don't really enjoy or like?
I think it's both Stratford and Nelson equally. I haven't been to Stratford too much. The last time I went there, I blew an engine to bits. And before that, I think it was the under 23s. And I've been there a couple of times. Went there once in Dad's Couriga car years ago. It would have been like 19. Went to qualify for the under 23s and blew the clutch on the white flag. So I've never had luck at Stratford. And Nelson just seems to be a bit of a bogey track for me too. Lost one NZ to Asher on the last corner.
I remember that. Yes. I think Pete pushed him through, didn't he? Give him a nudge through under you. Yeah.
Yeah, Pete gave him the old.
And he didn't know what, from memory, Pete wasn't sure what he should do because he wanted both of you sort of up there, but yeah. I remember that because that was streamed.
Asher was probably happy following, and then Pete just goes, "Hurry up, boy!"
Yeah. That's right. I remember that. Gave him the nudge through, didn't he, at Nelson? Yeah.
So Steve Fletcher.
It's funny because we both came through the we both didn't even qualify for that event. We had to come through the Ripper Charge.
Steve Fletcher, another question. I talked to you at the Battle of the Stocks about different chassis incoming. How is that coming along? How are these different chassis coming along from Steve Fletcher? You caught up together at Battle of the Stocks.
Yeah, so we've got two generations sort of going on at the moment. We've got the older style, which is like what I had last year. We've got 3 or 4 of those in the workshop at the moment. We've got to get finished and out the door. And the new ones with my one's pretty close to being finished. Malcolm's the only one getting one similar to mine as a super stock for this year. And as I believe Keegan Levine's getting one as a stock car. So we've only got 3 of the new ones on the go at the moment.
Someone that we had racing with our Capital RC series and E-series was Zach West, sporting his car, just looking like his 24C, and he went pretty good actually online, to be honest with you, come to grips with it. Actually, all those real drivers came to grips real fast with it. You know, he's seems to be going pretty good down in Christchurch, enjoying the old super stock down there. Oh, Zach?
Yeah, he's a good sort. We get along good with Zach. I think he's had a few injuries the past couple of years, and he was our 6th driver when we won the teams back in 2019, so he'd be a good one. Would like to see jump in on these probables teams racing and get an itch for it, and try build the Eagles up and make a second team. Be good to see him out there.
Let's talk about Eagles. Motto Goodley here. Where is the 6-pack? Where's old 557? What's Sauce up to these days?
He's whipped now. He's got a missus, so we don't really see him.
There you go. Got a straight out.
He's just come back from Christchurch. He's been down with Malcolm over the weekend, getting his car ready for the season.
Yeah.
There's a Brody James. Who would be your ultimate team, past and present?
My ultimate team, past and present. Present, I'd like to go with Ethan Rees, Jack Myers. Who else? Could just say the whole Eagles team, really. It's hard. There's 2 I'd definitely like the team race with, and that's Ethan and Jack, and William Humphreys. Past, Pat Westbury, Calvin Gray, Barry Bajewski. There's so much to name. There's a few. I've named a few.
That's a real thinking question, that one, isn't it? Because you think in the past, how many good drivers there's been in the past to try and choose from. I mean, man, I could think of some of the, I'm always I'm a different era to you again, so, I mean, mine, I'm talking Dave Evans and people like that, I think Dave Evans is absolutely the greatest of all time, he'd be my pick ever. Dave Evans.
Usually you'd say Dave Evans, but I didn't really have I didn't grow up really watching him, so I don't have too much to off other than videos. That's where my era of the Westburys and Calvin Gray, I got to see a lot of them. I met
Elvis Rollins. He talks highly of you, mate, because he knows Booker and your dad and everything. He was really talking. I mean, he's got one of the old Myers, Dave Evans' car. Scott Myers is thrown in there. Would like to see Natai back in teams. You're not too sure, Phil, if he'll do that. He's loving the saloon, but maybe he's got another car coming up. Any numbers on the dash for the season? Wow. See what happens, Jayden?
Yeah, I don't really have anyone,
Nah.
To go after the season, but
I could give you a
there's
couple.
a few. There's a few back in the stock car days that used to have a stab, so if they were ever up on points, I'd definitely give them a nudge, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to go chasing anyone until someone really wants to start anything with me.
I'll tell you what, so with you moving, like you've gone to Christchurch as your new club, when it comes down to it, club code first or mates first on the track?
Yeah, that's a hard one because that's what it's sort of become now. It's
Yeah.
you can't take out your mates at the end of the day, and that's where it gets hard. We're all good friends of everyone around the country. Keegan Levine from Wellington, you got Randall and Hawke's Bay, Auckland. You've got so many friends everywhere, and you can't. That's what we are. We are mates, so you can't really take them out. I know it gets pretty hard. Like I said before, I owe William Humphreys a lot of favours. He's done a lot for me in my racing career, helped me get a few championships. So there might be an exception where he's up on points and I'll have to take someone out or slow them down just to help him out. But Mike Mack actually came up to me one night and we're mates. And I really respected this. He came up to me, and this was for the Autumn Nationals, and he goes, "No free passes, boy, just so you know." And I really liked that. So I think if I ever went to take someone out that was a mate, I'd use the same thing and just go up to them and go, "Look, mate, don't go around me. Give them a fair chance to go through me."
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well said. Now, I was just thinking, trying to put it into an equation there. You had William Humphreys and Harley Robb right there. There's only that position that was going to alter a points difference from who would win. And you're in that position. Who do you stop and who do you block? Is like, do you rate Harley because he's a C, or do you good mate that's looked after you, William? It's like, geez, put you in a position, eh?
Yeah, I think you just let them battle it out, mate.
You do it. Yeah, let them do it. Yeah, wicked. Mate, you excited for the season ahead? Pretty well amped?
Yeah, very excited. I haven't been this excited for a while, actually. I think a lot of it just because we're building such a new car with a whole lot of new ideas. We want to go out there and hopefully do what it's supposed to do. Like, we want these changes to work. And this last season I didn't really get off to a great start. We started late and had car problems. Like you said, Booker, we got to Wellington, and that's when we finally had the car dialed in and on rails, and that was because we finally had time to go through the car and get it set up right. So really want to get there opening night, get the gremlins ironed out, and hit the ground running come championship time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's
Jayden Ward himself, we know what you do on the speedway track. Was there anything else Jayden did? Because we knew Ethan plays a bit of rugby, Matt Pickard plays a bit of rugby. Was there anything else that you did aside from speedway or motorsport that young Jayden Ward done or anything like that?
Nah, not sport-wise, man. It was just all motorsport for me. Yeah. Hanging out with friends, mate, that's always good.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other classes you wouldn't mind having to go at? I know we touched on the saloons. That would be most probably it, the super saloons.
Yeah, super saloons. Always wanted to give midgets a go. They look like a whole lot of fun.
Everyone says midgets, eh?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Hell on. Let's go hard out, eh?
Yeah, love to give that a crack. But
Carl reckons you've done skiing.
Jayden, eh?
What's that? Sorry, Kinser?
Anything with a motor.
It's a book said. No, I'll just say what Carl said. He reckons skiing, mate. Did you do some skiing?
I was doing skiing on the weekend. I looked like a baby calf going down the mountain.
Oh, God.
Well, we've gone past our normal 8:30 cutoff, but mate, it was good of you to join us. Take some time out of your day and to join us on the show tonight, Jayden. We really appreciate it, and we wish you nothing but the best for the season. As I said, I've always sort of kept one eye on you as because of my knowing going back with your dad. So I've always watched your progress, and you're a very, very talented young driver, mate. Very talented, and Yeah, we hope your season goes really well. And like I say, come see us in the pits, and we'll put you on that simulator and see how you go on that with the new stuff, mate.
Yeah, might be a safer option.
Mate, we need to get you back online. We need to get you back online for sure. Because we go way back to our online days and sort out some kind of computer and get a wheel sorted for you, because I think the boys would love to have you back and the fans would love to see you out there, especially those who remembered you from way back in the day where we started talking about with the show. But yeah, something in the plans, I'd say, mate. I think everyone's got paybacks on Speedo NZ.
Tee up that Charlie Sorter to get on there, and we'll deal to him.
Bro, he was really gonna be part of the show. He really was amped to be part of it, but because of the real racing, and he didn't know where he was going to be committed on the Sunday that we race in New Zealand, which will be, I think it was going to be a Sunday morning there, and work on his real car. But he's definitely keen to be back with us and jump online. He's he just does a bit of entertaining. I think me and him one day we'll do a dance eventually. Just quickly before I let you go, we've always spoken about Palmy teams. Have you ever done Auckland teams nationals?
Yes, I've done it with the Mustangs once. I did it with the Hawkeyes, and once with the Eagles.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. There we go.
Yeah.
Cheers, Aaron. Aaron's been watching Aaron Wilton, awesome show. But hey, thanks everyone for all the questions. If we didn't get through them all tonight, we do apologise, but we try to get through to it and enjoy having a chat with, of course, Jayden, and just reminiscing on some of the good old times and the fun times ahead, mate. As long as you're having fun and you're doing it out there, that's the main thing, enjoying yourself.
Yeah, mate, if you're not enjoying it, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
We're talking about racing, That's what we're talking about.
Are we?
Yeah, we'll give you a different VR experience when I catch up with you, bro.
Jeez, kids. Oh,
the show's going south. We better get out of here.
Hey, thanks, Jayden. Appreciate your time, mate.
Oh, actually, just quickly. Now you mentioned Harley. Harley's got a sponge that he wears. What, you got anything superstitious that you do?
I used to put a jandal between my crutch bout. Not anymore. I must have heard it. Doesn't get hurt as much.
Right. Oh,
yep,
merch.
The old jandal used to work a treat.
Yeah, merch. You going to have any merch coming out, mate? Some of the fans want to know about merch.
I haven't had that done for a fair few years, but we'll get this new car designed and finished, get some good shots of it, and definitely that's on the agenda to get some done this year. Yeah, sure.
Wicked. Sippy up to sea. We'll leave it with Sippy up to sea. ET, Shot Speedo. Everyone's enjoyed you being on the show, mate. It's been a pleasure having you. Crowd favorite on the show. It was just great to have you on here, and you can move your laptop around now and lose connection with us, and we'll let you go and enjoy your coffee. We'll catch you trackside,
Cheers, bros. Good to see us.
Thanks, Jayden.
See you later.
See you, mate.
See you later.
Awesome. Jump on the World Racing Facebook page. Give it a follow. Give it a like to keep in touch with what's happening with Jayden. And always got a well-presented car working on a new deal for the upcoming season. I tell you what, as people have put in the comments or the pictures of goats, yeah, definitely on and off the track. Loves his daughter. Spends a lot of weekend time with her. But when he's on the track, I tell you what, he can either be on song or he can be a menace. And whatever Jayden Wood you get at a racetrack is what you've got to deal with. So look forward to merch coming out, and just keep an eye on how things are going. And he's excited. We're excited to see him back, and we'll be excited to bring you our online team series with our real drivers as captains on Sunday, build up at 8:15. All the action will get underway. You'll see us smash each other up, have a bit of fun, and 8:30 on Sunday.
That's it, mate. Yeah, no, that's it. That's us for another week. We hope you all enjoyed the show. Be safe, and we will see you on Sunday night.
Sunday. Cheers, everyone. Take care. Thank you.
Oh, right button here.
Welcome along, everyone. What was it like, that experience jumping into your first race?
It's been my life ever since I can remember.
Look, it really was unbelievable.
I think it's awesome.
Just go out there and give it your every time. And
When you're young and you're getting your old man super stock and you wreck it, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Craig Booker with the big smile. He is the voice that's behind what you get to hear every Sunday night.
Give it the hoot, Nanny. Look at that field. Doesn't it look fantastic?